Hi there and welcome to Focus on Frisco. You're watching SCTV 10. I'm Shannon Fallon and we're in the studio. We haven't been in the studio for a while. It's kind of nice to be in here. Look at that great shot behind me. It's beautiful out there in Summit County, as it always is. Thanks for joining us, and today I have Rick Higgins, Public Works. Rick, the last time we met, we were talking about Step Up Main Street and it hadn't even started.
That's correct.
Isn't it?
You got it.
Yeah.
And here we go again.
And here we go again.
Sure.
And it's going to be great.
It is.
So why don't you explain briefly, for those who don't know what Step Up Main Street is, what is Step Up Main Street?
Well, Step Up Main Street involves Main Street improvements, I guess, for lack of a better word, and we've developed 4 different phases, and we've developed this spring and fall schedule, and of course phase 1 we did last fall.
Now, first of all, why do we need to step up Main Street? What's the story?
Well, actually, we've got infrastructure that's truly aging, and it's showing its age, kind of like I am.
I was going to say, I know the feeling.
Yes, and it's interesting that when I started with the Town of Frisco, we just built a new Main Street. Oh
my gosh!
And here we go.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it is, and we've got some. I think there's going to be some big improvements. I think, even for lack of a better word, kind of in your storefront, much more attractive with new pavers, new street lights, new sidewalks.
You know, last fall when phase 1 started and completed, and
yes.
Kudos, by the way, because I think it went so fast.
Yes, and I don't think it could have gone any better.
Oh my gosh, knock on wood.
We got great comments from business owners.
Yes.
We got off, so now we've kind of got off to this positive start with phase 1.
Big shoes to fill.
It is. We got a tough act to follow here, rolling into phase 2.
Yeah.
Which you know, it involves a lot of surface work.
Okay.
Which is, again, you know, the pavers and the sidewalks and street lights. And I mean, we're going to be kind of right there in front of the business owner.
And literally right there, because it is the sidewalks.
Yeah, correct.
And then down on that side of the street, right? Once you're not tearing up the whole street, like the center of it, but it's the edges, like where the parking spots are.
Well, no, basically we are basically lowering Main Street probably 10 inches. Due to drainage.
Really?
Yes, to try to get better drainage. One of the biggest comments and feedback that we got from business owners and citizens alike was drainage, snow and ice, this continual.
Oh, you bet.
And how can we improve on that?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of one of the bigger focuses that we, working with the engineering company, that we talked about.
Okay.
And so we've got some great improvements with storm pipe.
Okay.
And hopefully we will improve on it. I don't know if we're truly going to resolve snow and ice, kind of where we live.
Here's the story. We have snow and ice where we live.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that, but we do.
It is.
Just kind of on a side note and really a personal note, is it fascinating to see the changes between when you first worked on Main Street and the way that you're working on Main Street now? You personally, is it unbelievable? Oh yeah. Is it?
I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
A great improvement, better materials that we have nowadays, and you know, here we are 32 years. I think we did it in '83. I'm kind of dating myself here.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was looking back at the information about it, I think it was early 80s. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine the changes that you see in the vast improvement in what can be done. And maybe there's some things that haven't improved at all, you know what I mean?
True.
That they have done. All right, so phase 1 was really 2 ends of Main Street. You kind of had that, what, 7th?
Yep. 7th Avenue intersection.
Exactly.
And then we down at the other end at Madison Avenue.
Yes, and that's wonderful. At the end of the summer, I used that so much because we were riding bikes so often. And it was incredible. The change I mean, it looked better, but it was just easier. And I couldn't believe how much easier it was with that small change. You
know, it was, and because Madison Avenue was such a big intersection.
It is.
And now that we've kind of squeezed things down, we've really improved in our intersections, safer pedestrian crossings.
Absolutely.
Was kind of a goal of ours as well.
Yeah.
And I think we've done that.
Good. I think so too. I have to agree. So it was the streets, it was the sidewalks, it was lights. Some of the light posts looks fantastic.
Yeah, great.
And that was kind of phase 1. Tell me about phase 2, and that's going to be starting in April.
It is.
Okay. All right.
Basically what it is, it's kind of a 12-week schedule right now, from about early April to the end of June.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
What's really going to take place here, it's kind of a totally different job.
It is.
It is. I mean, it's that surface work, finish work.
Right.
You know, phase 1 was all about storm pipe drainage and all this, and so this phase 2 is really about the finished product.
Right.
And so we plan to, in early April, we'll be doing some of the not as glamorous side of construction
April's
work.
a little rough anyway, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, you can be business. You know, we want to be very business sensitive to within reason.
Right.
Try to minimize some disruptions. But anyway, it's kind of an interesting sequence. And when I say that, you know, normal work kind of goes from the roadway out to curb and gutter, parking areas, then it jumps to the sidewalks and pavers and street lights. Well, due to our spring sequence, we plan to go from basically outside to in.
You do?
Yes. So what you're going to see is we'll come in, of course, close the roadway.
Okay.
Now, the other side of that, we're trying to be sensitive to our road closures from a business owner standpoint.
Man, that's got to be tough to try to figure that out.
It can be.
Yeah.
It sure can be. Like, we tried our best to try to keep traffic moving, but we're running into some real challenges and with trenching and so forth. So now we've kind of jumped the other way, and we're trying to do a block at a time.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, early on, April, you're going to see trenching. You're going to see us come in and remove our street lights, our old paver sections, leave the sidewalk in place.
Okay.
And we're going to go up the north side of Main Street first.
Okay.
With all the trench demo work, whatever you want to call it. Then we're going to do the south side. Okay. Conduits, electrical work, set the new concrete light pole bases.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then after that, you'll see us start to remove and demo sidewalk.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and we think if weather permitting, of course we all know how April can be. That's my disclaimer.
Yes, right, exactly.
You know, by the time you remove all the sidewalks and you prep them and you know, form it and you pour them back, we think our goal is to be substantially completed mid-blocks, not the intersections. The intersections are another totally...
Well, I can imagine that they're completely different animals.
Yes.
So what we're talking about is from 4th to 7th.
Yes.
And the side of 4th, it's not going to be all the way across the intersection. It's going to be the toward 7th side of 4th.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, that is a whole different animal. So right now you're just talking outside of the intersections. You're talking the area between 4th Ave and 7th Ave.
You got it.
Okay.
And we hope to, again, weather permitting, that we hope to be done by mid-May.
Wow.
With the sidewalks, street lights.
Okay.
And then we're going to kind of move out into the street.
Into the street.
Yes.
So you're hoping to get those sidewalks done so that the businesses can, as it starts to pick up again. I mean, definitely April is quiet, especially with Easter being where it is this year. But so that the any disruption, minimal as it may be, of businesses can be back up as quickly as possible.
Exactly. Okay. That's our goal.
And then you'll still try to reroute people on Granite and Galena? Is that what it's going to be, depending on what side of the street you need to access?
It'll be Granite. Granite's kind of our primary main street, as everybody knows. Our detour route.
Right.
And if we can bring them back to Main Street in a block. Sure. So if we stop you at 7th Avenue and send you off to Granite, we take you around the block and hopefully come back.
Back on 6th or 5th.
The other one is this particular phase is very labor intensive. I mean, it's what I'm trying to say here is minimal are minimal. Multiple crews and different locations throughout the block in order to meet our schedule.
Wow.
Yes.
So what happens if April is brutal?
Right.
And so you start, okay? You're starting to dig everything up, the sidewalks are going, and then we get 2 feet of snow. Yeah, then what happens?
Well, we have a line item in our budget for what we call winter conditions. And what it involves is ground heaters, concrete blankets.
Absolutely.
Labor intensive.
Right.
We're doing a concrete that's accelerated as far as setting up.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So all that comes into a cost.
Okay. You bet
that
it
comes
does.
behind it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because you got to keep those ground heaters going 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So that's what we have. I figure that by the end of April, we will regroup.
Right.
And we'll kind of go, okay, where are we with the schedule?
Gotcha.
What are we going to do from here on out, and how do we catch back up?
Right.
So you might see May and June with 6 days a week.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, just to try to catch
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's where we're at.
So those are big.
Yeah.
So the other contingency, I guess maybe that's not the right word, but the other thing is barbecue. That comes mid-June.
We do.
How do you handle that?
Well, actually, we've worked with the contractor, and by the way, it's the same contractor that we had last year, Columbine Hills Concrete.
Great.
You know, they did a great job. They got us off to a good start, and I think between the Town of Frisco Public Works Department, we tried to keep a neat work area. We ran the sweepers, and we did our portions, and so.
So yeah, once you regroup.
Yes. Then 4th to 5th becomes the primary or the priority.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So say April goes through and it's a little tough, but you get some stuff done, but maybe you're a little bit behind. As soon as you hit May, haha, and nice weather, haha.
Yeah, exactly.
The priority is between 4th and 5th for barbecue.
Yes.
Okay.
And we want that area to be substantially complete for the barbecue.
Okay. And when you say complete, so at the end of phase 2, between 4th and 7th, what should people expect to see when they're looking at completion?
Completion, you'll see all new asphalt, you'll see all new parking areas, you'll see all new curb and gutter, you'll see new paver sections, you'll see new street lights, sidewalks.
Wow.
So new, I mean, it's a big improvement.
Yeah.
And we kind of have squeezed things down a little bit to try to give people a little more. I think crossings and so forth are going to be much safer.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I agree. I think those crossings, they are huge. I mean, that's the space between both sides of Main Street. It seems massive some days.
You'll see better lit intersections.
Yeah, and with the way that our guests come up in our thank goodness we have such a beautiful town.
Yes.
But they come and they look, and they're not always paying the full attention to the driving aspect of it.
Yes, exactly.
It's great to have things squeezed together a little bit.
Yeah, right.
All right, how about we do this, Rick? We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the next set of work sequences. We'll just kind of touch on them, and then you also have an open house coming up here pretty soon.
Awesome.
All right, we are going to take a quick break right here on Focus on Frisco. Stay with us. Thanks for sticking around. You're watching SCTV 10. This is Focus on Frisco. I'm Shannon Fallon, and this is Rick Higgins. Thanks for sticking around with us, too.
You bet, sure.
All right, so when we took a quick break, we had kind of finished up about talking about what phase 2, and that's the next phase from April until June.
Correct.
Or if you work as speedy as you did, maybe not even that long. I have high hopes.
Gosh, I hope so.
I know, right?
You know?
It's a lot of pressure because it went so great last fall. But then we have phase 3 and phase 4. And phase 3 is coming up, but so let's go back a little bit. You have an open house coming up.
Correct.
And is that going to be talking about phase 2 and giving people not only an idea of what phase 2 is going to be, but also what phase 3 is going to lead?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, it's funny because after each phase, we kind of regroup and we reevaluate what went well, what went terrible.
Gotcha.
And so this continual improvement is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay. And working with the contractor and such. But anyway, the open house, which is Tuesday, March 3rd.
Okay.
And we have 2 time slots.
I love that you have 2 sessions. I think that's a great idea, from 11 to 12.
Yes.
And 5 to 6.
You got it.
I think that's fantastic.
Yes, and it worked well last year. To the credit to our marketing department, they're doing a very good job with website information.
Great.
They're paying visits to the business owners.
Awesome.
And then when you throw in the open house, which what we're going to do is really the focus will be phase 2.
Okay.
But then we also have a station for phase 3.
Okay. And you said that the contractors are going to be there.
Yes.
So people can ask questions about what is going to happen in phase 2.
You got it.
Okay.
And then again, no real formal presentation. It's going to be very informal.
Great.
And you can kind of make your way around, and we'll have the foam boards up, and you can we'll be able to talk through each phase.
So with phase 2 being 4th Ave through 7th Ave, why did you choose that end of the street before the other end of the street? Because I'm assuming you're going to do the exact same things all the way up and down the street.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
We were trying our best to just how to phase it, and what would work well, and we were trying to work from phase 1 in some form or fashion.
Right.
We could have done phase 3 in phase 2.
Right.
But we felt that the only fall phase that we wanted to have was kind of in front of the town hall and the historic park.
Gotcha.
So the town's kind of the largest landowner, because we felt that that was a more sensitive time of year. Okay. The fall, because you know, fall colors, busy, and so we wanted to do the spring one. Our largest one, we wanted to do 4th to 7th. Yes. And then of course, fall of this year, of course, is from Madison to 2nd Avenue, or should I say from the town hall or the post office to the log cabin, as an example. Gotcha. All right, and so that's going to be basically what phase 3 is, although as you've stated that you guys go in after each phase and talk a little bit about what went well, what you might change a little bit, but that's basically, it's going to replicate what happened between 4th and 7th. Correct. Okay. Yes. All right. And then we look even farther, so a year from now, when we're talking and we're saying, oh my gosh, it's gone so great. What is phase 4? Phase 4 will be from the Loaf and Jug, or 2nd Avenue, and we'll go to 4th Avenue. And again, choosing that in the spring because it's less ideally, or I guess hopefully less impactful on the businesses that are standing in that area. Weather-wise, not so great. Right. Yeah. You know? But again, I'd just like to say that this kind of came from input from the business owner and what they would like to see, and we're doing our best. Well, I think you guys are doing a great job listening. I mean, there's only so much you can do, and I think everybody recognizes that. Yeah. It has to get done. End of story. Sure. Especially with all the drainage issues that everybody does talk about. I mean, it has to be done. So at some point, you can't just lift the town up, do it, and put the town back. I wish we could. Right, I know you do. I know you do. But it seems like that you guys have done such a great job listening and doing the best that you can to accommodate how many businesses are there? And I'm sure they each all have 200 and something. Gosh. You know? Have their own requests on it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You know, we've been all over the board. I mean, there's business owners that want us to work at night. There's some that don't. Wow. So you get a lot of different comments, varied comments, a variety of comments, I guess I should say. But boy, can you imagine putting working at night into your budget? Yeah. Really? That's probably a I know there's a lot of residents that live above. Exactly, right? You know, yeah. I mean, the perfect world, I guess you could demo everything at night and pour it back in the day. That sounds like perfect world. Yeah, exactly. I don't think we're being realistic. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Let's go from where we are. Exactly. Right. Well, gosh, I want to make sure that everybody knows that open house is on March 3rd. You can go from 11 to noon or 5 until 6, and it's at Town Hall. I'm so excited about it because it's going to talk about the spring construction, the timelines, and just give everybody a great idea about what's going to be happening. Exactly. Okay. A lot of website information. Great. They've done a great job with all this, putting this stuff out. So I think you can exit on townoffrisco.com or Frisco Gov.
FriscoGov.
Yes, friscogov.com.
So those are the two websites that you're going to really access to get all the information that you do. Otherwise, you can call the construction hotline, which is 668-0836, and that's extension 6, I think.
Okay.
9. Thank you. Got to flip that 6 upside down.
And I think it's weekly updates.
Okay.
Even better.
Even better. That's great. So those are all the ways that you can get all the information that you need for it. But come to this open house, get an idea, and if you do like what you're seeing, make sure that you tell Public Works. I mean, this is a big, big job, and I know you guys have a lot of pressure on it, but I want to remind people to just be positive about it. This is going to really end up, I mean, even the stuff that we saw this winter, you know, it was just everything, just even the small parts that were changed just kind of flowed better. It looked great.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we will, again, if you have any special needs, special requests as a business owner, if you communicate that to us, give us some lead time. We can do our best to help you, you know. Don't hesitate.
Great. And you know where to find everybody. So make sure you make those phone calls, stop in, but go to the open house. This is where, and you guys are going to be there. I mean, Public Works will be there. Yeah, I'm sure you will.
We'll be there in full force.
Good. Very good. Well, I mean, congratulations on a successful phase 1.
Thank you.
Phase 2 should be great. It's going to be nice to see it in spring. I will keep my fingers crossed that we have a great spring, a nice warm spring. After all the, you know, we'll wait till everybody closes, all the ski areas.
There you go.
And then hope for that nice warm spring. But great job.
Thank you very much.
And I look forward to talking to you again. I'm assuming that you and I will probably talk right before fall.
That's
maybe
true.
As you guys
probably
start
revisit phase 3.
You bet. Yeah. And do you think you'll have another open house as you?
Oh, I think we will. Yeah, we'll keep this momentum hopefully with the open house and the website information, and so we want to continue that. Even site visits. You know, we plan to be out on the street. The community services officer I know has been out. The marketing department has been out. I think Bill Efting, town manager, has been out. He's real good about it.
He is.
So we make our laps and we introduce ourselves. And, you know, so.
Well, I sure saw you out there a lot last fall. It was great. You know, because that's what people want to see. They want to make sure that you know what's going on, even though you know what's going on.
Right. Yeah. It worked out great. It couldn't have gone better, phase 1.
I know.
I mean, we had kids out there on equipment.
Oh my gosh.
There was a lady that had an open house.
Oh my gosh.
And brought in the kids, and the kids watched the big excavators work, and
that is
then they
so
shut
great.
the equipment off, and the kids were out there with it, and you know, it was just a great time.
It doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
That's great. Well, here's to hoping that we have another successful phase. That's phase 2. Again, the open house Tuesday, March 3rd, 11 to 12 and 5 to 6 over at Town Hall. Ask your questions, get your information, and be ready to do some learning and figure out what's going to happen over these next couple months.
Great. Thanks, Shannon.
All right, Rick, thank you very much for joining us here. We appreciate it. On behalf of the Town of Frisco and everybody that came together to make this happen, we thank you all for joining us and being a part of it. This is Focus on Frisco here on SCTV 10. I'm Shannon Fallon, and I look forward to seeing you again next month.